Defense was all over the Chiefs offense, who were held to their second lowest point total of the season and held Kansas City to only 1 touchdown on 4 red zone trips. Now the Chiefs fall to 0-5 in one-score games. They are now 4 games behind the Broncos in the division and on the outside looking in of the AFC playoff picture. Okay, we've said this 100 times, let's say it again. If the playoffs were to start today, the Chiefs would not be in it. Does it feel like the Chiefs' reign, at least in this division, is over, Dan?
Oh, absolutely. The Broncos clearly have a stranglehold of this division. Here's the reality with where the Chiefs are. They're a mediocre football team right now. They are a mediocre football team. If you look at their record of 5-5, those 4 losses, don't talk about the Jags game. When they lost to Denver, they only led for 5 minutes and 45 seconds. When they lost to Buffalo, they only led for 2:48. When they lost to Philly, 2:44, and they lost to the Chargers, and they never led. So we're talking about only leading out of those 4 games for like 11 minutes. And they got to play the Colts next week. It's an offense right now that Patrick's made unbelievable plays. Yesterday, Denver said, Kelsey's not going to beat us. Worthy's not going to beat us. Rashee Rice averaged 6 yards per catch. Rashee Rice, a #1 receiver in the league. Okay? 2, they will not run the football when they have to. Buffalo and Denver both said, well, dare you to run the ball. They didn't. I think they ran it 13 times yesterday, coming off of what they did against Buffalo a couple weeks ago. And this defense that has been notorious for finding a way in the fourth quarter. Chris Jones, Karlaftis, somebody make a sack, McDuffie out of pressure, get a blitz, get home. They can't right now. And so, yeah, this is a flirting with mediocrity football team that just numbers-wise, because they play the Colts next week, it's a very real conversation of, are they going to get into the playoffs or not? So, yeah, the reign in the West is over.
Cam, what do you think?
Very aggressive by you, Danielle. Very aggressive. I can't agree because there's not a world where I see the Chiefs and the Ravens missing the playoffs. Do I think they figure the things out? Absolutely. Do you feel extremely confident in the Chargers? Yes. Do you really feel extremely confident in the Broncos? They found ways to win. It was very promising to see Bo Nix's performance yesterday. But needless to say, the issue that I'm having with the Kansas City Chiefs, yes. The issue that I'm having with the Kansas City Chiefs is we've never seen the defense not be able to generate ruckus at a high level like they've been very vanilla this year. Okay, you look back at early on in the season, they've had dysfunction with Chris Jones. Now you start to see, okay, where we're in closer games than we intended it to have, and Patrick Mahomes is not able to get us out of this slump. Did Travis Kelce have a good game? Yes, he did. But other issues still arose, and their defense is the nucleus of these type of issues. And in order for them to make a run, their defense does need to type of enhance to be a little better for Patrick Mahomes.
You said that you have more faith in the Chiefs than you do the Broncos and the Chargers?
Yes. And this is the reason why. If you find a way to get into the playoffs, Dan Orlovsky, I don't give a doggone if it's a wild card or you win the division. Are you willing to bet your money that if the Kansas City Chiefs plays any team in the AFC, that you're going to go against Patrick Mahomes?
I mean, that's obviously a ways away. I still think that there's teams that are plenty capable of beating Kansas City, and I understand what Patrick is and who Patrick is in the playoffs. But there's no way you can tell me that you think the Chiefs, you trust the Chiefs more than the Broncos. The Chiefs got 6 points yesterday off pass interferences. There were questionable calls. The Broncos defense without Surtain and Singleton completely blanked them.
That's not the question, Daniel. The question is, if the Kansas City Chiefs were to make it to the playoffs, you're going to take a chance to say a team is going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, I know the statistics. If the playoffs start today, well, good thing it doesn't. It starts in January. We're still in November. If the Kansas City Chiefs finds a way to get into the playoffs, you're willing to take the Denver Broncos if they have to go to Denver or anywhere to play a team, no matter if it's Kansas City or not, or if it's in Kansas City or not, you're willing to take that team over Kansas City Chiefs?
I'll make that decision when that time comes, but like I said, Kansas City's going to have to get in first.
Well, first of all, stop lying, because you know that in damn well if Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs make it to the playoffs, you ain't gonna sit up there and look at Denver and the Chargers and go like this. I think they're
How y'all gonna tell me what I think?
You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it.
I absolutely would.
You're not gonna do it. You're gonna sit up there and say Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City are gonna lose to one of those teams in the AFC West come playoff time. I don't believe you.
Denver?
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Now, Denver's fourth-ranked offense in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying in terms of what they do on drives, but they're like 25th over the first 3 quarters. We get that part, okay? Their defense is real. I get it. I totally understand it. It's legit. Jaquan McMillan, big-time game last night. 2 sacks, interception. The brother was balling, okay? And this is a dude that might not have been out there if Surtain wasn't injured. So we got to look at that and say, okay, that gives you even more reason to feel high about Denver's defense. But here's what I want to look at with Kansas City's offense. I don't understand what the hell is going on with them. I know they're 12-0 last year, including the postseason and one-score games. 0-5 this year. 0-5, okay? That's problematic. I'm looking at a defense. Gave up a touchdown and 3 field goals over for the last 5 drives, with Denver. I'm wondering about that. Spagnuolo and that defense. Could you get a stop from someone? Could you do something to prevent them? For crying out loud, I'm looking at that and I'm saying to myself, this is not a good look. I get it. I also saw Rice drop a pass in the first half. I saw Travis Kelce drop a pass in the first half. These are not things I'm accustomed to seeing. But I harken back to a couple of years ago, Shay, when the Kansas City Chiefs went on the road, okay? And they went in Buffalo, they went to Baltimore, and they went to the Super Bowl. And it's like, yo, we here. You know what? This is a new season. And it's hard for me to just sit up there and say the reign is over. Of course, they ain't going to win the AFC West. I say that much. They're going to get to the playoffs as a wild card. I understand that. But it's hard for me to look at them and say, with the problems I've seen, the Chargers, sort of the way they stunk up the joint yesterday. You look at Denver, the way they stick up the joint for the first 3 quarters for the most part this season on offense. It's hard for me to look at them and say, you know what? Kansas City, I can't see them doing anything. That's a hard one for me to do. I can't go that far.
I'm with you, and I'm with you. They got to play Indy next week. In 2 weeks, they play Houston. Houston's defense is as good as anybody's in football. They still got to play the Chargers, and they still got to play the Broncos.
Okay, what I thought was
So they
wild.
might not make the playoffs. So they might not make the playoffs. I'm saying if they do.
Okay.
If they do, it's in.
What was wild to me last night is I felt like I saw Kansas City adjust their game plan to Denver's. You saw Patrick Mahomes get the ball out extremely fast. Chris Jones even said after the game in his locker, he's like, I felt like they knew everything we were going to do. Every single defensive coverage we had set up, they knew was coming. And we're accustomed to the opposition adjusting to who they are. So for me, it felt a very different Andy Reid coming off the bye. It felt like I'm not going to say they weren't prepared, but it felt like a very turning of the tide to see another team basically have a stronghold on exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs were doing. That was just my opinion. But all right, we're going to leave that there. Let's keep it moving. Stephen A. would like to have a word with Dan Orlovsky.
Oh, yes.
Paramount for this team moving forward.